Hi, Shalisa. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. I am going to start by asking what is it about Black success or Black wealth that scares people away, especially this? Why is it that they feel like if we eventually become really super free or have everything at our pace, our distance and all that, that we are probably going to pay back or retaliate? And I have really heard or I have heard a lot of them say that, right? Because I mean they do not want to see a rich black woman. They don't want to see a rich black man. I mean, they don't want to see a successful black person. So there must really be something that gets them so worried about black success, and that also boils down to some videos that I brought here where they said that they do not want to be minorities, and sometimes they feel like if the table turns, that they will be treated the way they treated black people. But the same people that said that they will be treated the way keep denying that black people, they do not believe or do not agree that black people have been treated in a certain way. I mean, each time you ask them, they tell you that black people are doing better for themselves because they came to the land of freedom, so they do not have anything to complain about. You know what? Stay good. Let's get into.
If this hurricane has taught me anything, it's that they're not against socialism. They're just against money going to black and brown people. They're not against money going to people for free without work being done for it. They are capable of understanding when someone is going through a hard time and needs more funding for that. They just believe that it should go to their type of people versus the type of people that we've been pushing for. They're capable of understanding exploitation and devastation of an area that is not due to the fault of the person that did it, but they just hold back who they think is allowed that money from the government. At the very root of their anger of this money going to immigration, which it's not, but it going to immigration versus FEMA, is the very root of them saying that they could care less about the least of these and just want it to go to their type of people. They also seem to be understanding of the fact that the military industrial complex is bad, but only in the context of one specific war and not all of the other ones that we've been talking about for a really long time. Socialism is simply a framework of government that has to do with the exploitation of capitalism and money from the government versus exploitation of laborers. Money from the government is what they're very happy to accept right now because of the devastation that they believe the white people in this country are owed. I want to be absolutely clear that there is nothing that I want more than more money to go to Western North Carolina. And the only way to get that is through Congress and House and Senate voting. The executive branch has done all that they can do at this point by deploying FEMA, getting extra funding. $20 billion was approved before this hurricane even happened. Mike Johnson, as probably a lot of people know, have denied Congress to go back in session to approve because he says that there needs to be a period of time where we see how much damage is done and how much money is needed, and basically confirming they're not out of money yet. The only type of thing that this outrage does is make things like people not to apply for FEMA because they think that it's not there, to believe that FEMA is not in their area, and so they are scared for the people in the higher up mountains or their family members, and it creates a lot of infighting between people that had come together for the first time. I just simply don't understand why we can't all collectively be angry at our government, want more from them, and don't have to always make it a partisan thing. But I digress.
Let me put it the fuck like this. Black people, black women, they don't like when y'all have an opinion. They don't like when y'all have money. They don't like when you're successful. They don't like when you're extremely talented. They don't like when you get opportunities. And they don't like when you do great things with yourself, because they don't see you as someone that should have that deserves that can actually achieve that, and that deserves it, that has earned it, that gets to be in those spaces. And here are a few examples. Obviously, right now, the biggest one is Beyonce. And you could take out any era that she's in. Her own community sometimes doesn't even like her. And because of what? Because of false, accusations, assumptions. You guys are clowning her more than you are Diddy. And that's scary. That's very scary. Let me take it a step further for you. We can do this in any realm of the world, but I'm doing like celebrities and personalities because it's such a clear and big example that everyone can see. Black women like Viola Davis, Kerry Washington, Gabrielle Union, Regina Hall, Regina King, they make less than half of their counterparts in Hollywood for these shows and movies that they do. They make a fraction of what our favorite white people make. While it's okay for white actors to participate in roles that are originally made for indigenous people, black people, Asians, people of color, it's okay for them to race swap that. It's okay for Robert Downey Jr. to, paint himself black for the Tropical Thunder movie, I believe. You guys can see the good in that and the funny in that, but when Halle Bailey, the most talented vocalist of our generation, is casted to play Ariel because she literally has the essence of Ariel to the T. Oh, she can't play the Little Mermaid. She cannot play Ariel. Are you kidding? You guys want to make everything black. Imagine if we made Black Panther white. That makes no sense. How can a black girl be a mermaid? Keep in mind, this is about a fish, a fucking fish. And then why don't we bring it to the front right now, what everyone's talking about? Kamala Harris. She can't be president. She's a woman. She's unqualified. I mean, how did she get her job? Did she sleep around? How is it that, you guys want her to be president? She's lying to you. She doesn't tell the truth. She can't eat. She doesn't know about the economy. What does Kamala know about the American people? And these are coming out the mouths of Trump supporters. What? Kamala Harris has worked in all three branches of the government, is an active vice president, has been a prosecutor. She's overqualified, if anything. She's 10 times more qualified than our other candidate. But it's overlooked. It's glazed over. It's thrown under the rug. Why? I don't know. But it probably has something to do with the fact that she's black and Indian. Because, Trump couldn't keep that out. Trump couldn't keep that out his mouth for longer than 10 seconds. Questioning her race while she's over here talking about what she wants to do with the economy and first-time homebuyers. He's over here talking about, is she black? All of a sudden, she's black. When did she become black? This is the same guy whose running mate is married to an Indian woman who has mixed-race children. So in this world, that's how black girls are treated in the limelight. Can you imagine how they're treated in our everyday life? Our sisters and our aunts and our moms. Black girls in other spaces. Black girls, whether it's in corporate, black girls that are doctors, black girls that are teachers, black girls that are young or that are our children, that are our sisters. Could you imagine? But it's all because of racism. It always goes back to racism. Why do you guys make everything about race? Because y'all won't leave us the fuck alone. Because we can't get paid the same as our white counterpart. Because we're brought up in every conversation when it comes to color, when we are playing these roles, when it comes to us making money, when it comes to us trying to just do regular things with our lives and exist. You guys make it about race when you sign those checks, when you tell us we can't do certain things, when you tell us we can't wear our hair a certain way to a school or to work, and when you tell us that we shouldn't be allowed to do certain things, and when you guys make fun of us. Y'all do these minstrel shows and y'all paint yourselves black and tell us we don't deserve to go to these schools or try to get rid of affirmative action because we aren't allowed to get into those schools, but you guys still have legacy admissions. I could go on about this for hours and hours because it is what it is. That's why I'm at a point now where it's no debating. I'm not talking about this with you. I'm not going to convince you that racism is still here and alive and affecting every black person and colored person on earth. I'm not doing that. Bitch, because what? We've been doing that for way too fucking long. And you bitches know what it is. Y'all know the truth. I'm not explaining nothing to nobody. But however, what I'm going to do is support my people. What I'm going to do is support my people and worry about us. And stop trying to worry about convincing everyone else that racism is still here and that it still affects us to this day. I'm done doing that. Because I feel like I'm participating in a minstrel show. I feel like I'm the tap dancing monkey trying to prove to you that, we go through what we go through. I'm not proving nothing. I'm not explaining nothing. Y'all know what the truth is. Y'all just ignore it. Y'all overlook it. Y'all don't care about it. Or you literally, you have to be ignorant and dumb.
Because I found out that day that they could kill me, but they couldn't kill the idea. Victor Hugo said, "No force on earth can stop an idea whose time has come." The idea of one race, the human race, is an idea whose time has come. We are not going to be able to stop it no matter what they do. They can elect Trump after Trump after Trump, and that will not stop the idea that there's only one race on the face of the earth. It's the human race, and we are all members of it. You and I are cousins. Now, if you don't like being my cousin, that's too bad for you. But we are all in the same family. We are members of the family of man.
You say that all whites are racist. Can you expound on that, please?
Any white person who was born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America, if you aren't a racist, you're a miracle. Either that or you decided to educate yourself. Because education in this country is about white is right, brown's all right, black's got to stand back. Yellow's mellow, but whites, we educate in a way that says that white males have done all the adventures, have made all the adventures, have done all the discovering, have made everything that is good and has been accomplished according to social studies, which is actually anti-social studies, by white males. It's a lie. But we do that in order to maintain the myth of white superiority. The myth of race has to be maintained at all costs in this country. Because if white people have to give up the color of their skin as being something that makes them perfect, what do they have left? If we start teaching the truth about history, if we start teaching about Nile Valley contributions to civilization, it will totally change the way we conduct ourselves in the classroom. It will have to. Columbus didn't discover America. You can't discover a place where people are already living. But we celebrate that every October. It's a lie. We need to get over, we need to stop telling the myths and start telling the truth.
So when you tell people that they're racist, and it must have some kind of effect, because most people will say, I'm not racist.
I'm not a racist. Why, some of my best friends are black.
Right.
Yeah, and then you say, name one. Or this one, I don't see color. And when some woman says to me, I don't see color, I say, I knew that. If you saw color, you wouldn't dye your hair that way. Or I say, if you saw color, you wouldn't wear that shirt with those pants. I believe that you don't see color. It's an attempt to deny skin color. And it's an attempt to deny what's wrong with seeing the color of my skin. Is it all right for you to see me kind of pink? That's okay for me. I don't mind. And I suspect that you don't mind being seen the color you are. You have a right to be what you are. And until people in this country and people in this world get it into their heads that the first modern human beings that evolved on this earth were black women. They evolved in sub-Saharan Africa about 280,000 years ago, and every human being on the face of the earth today has the memory of those black women's genetic structure in their genes. Now, we don't want to admit that, but that's the way it is. And as people moved farther and farther from the equator, their bodies produced less and less melanin, so their hair, their skin, and their eyes got lighter. As they moved into the east, they ate a lot of fish and a lot of vegetables, so their skin took on a different tone. I found that out when I was raising little kids. My husband worked in a supermarket. He was the head of the produce department. And they had lots of oranges that they couldn't sell, so he'd bring them home. And I was feeding my kids orange juice like you never saw in your life. They began to have an orange cast to their skin. I thought they had a liver problem. So I took them to the doctor, and she said, what are you feeding these kids? I said, well, lots of orange juice. She said, stop it if you want them to stop being orange. Now, if you think that skin color isn't anything other than the body's natural reaction to the natural environment, get over it.
So if all white people are racist, according to you, can they be reprogrammed?
Of course they can. Of course they can. Of course they can be. It's called education. I'm an educator. The word educator comes from the root duck deuce, which means lead, the prefix e, which means out, the suffix ate, which means the act of, and the suffix or, which means one who does. An educator is one who is engaged in the act of leading people out of ignorance. Now, I know you can change them. The second year I did the blue-eyed, brown-eyed exercise in my classroom, it was filmed by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. They gave me a copy of that film. I showed it to my father. My father was about 59 years old at the time. He's been a farmer all his life. He raised six kids, lost one, raised six. Watched that film as a 59-year-old man. When it was over, he stood up, and with tears in his eyes, he took his red handkerchief out of the back pocket of his overalls, his bib overalls, and said, "I wish somebody had taught me that when I was 9 years old." Nobody had dare say to me, "This doesn't work. This is too harsh. This isn't necessary. You can't teach an old dog new tricks because they're wrong." You can teach an old dog new tricks. You can teach people to give up the myth of racism. Somebody taught the Greeks to give up the myth that the sun was a god in a golden chariot that went across the sky every morning. They believed that for hundreds of years. We have believed the myth of 3 or 4 races, different races in this country, for long enough. 572 years or something like that is enough of that. It was a lie to begin with.
So this is all I got from this video. And firstly, I will ask this. Why is it that, they are scared that people, especially Black people, we also be rich or become better off if the money is being circulated or something like that? I mean, I have also brought so many videos where they are bothered about like a very tiny something, like, like Black people breaking free, or like Black people prospering, becoming more educated. Like, they really get worked up when over things like this. And I keep asking, does it mean that they do not expect Black people to keep pushing forward? Or do they want them to be stagnant? I really don't get that concept, because that also reminds me about a video that went viral, I think last 2 years, where Black doctors, they just finished, and they took videos, and Black people were really because there were so many doctors. And Black people were very proud. People were, not just only Black people, every other people also were congratulating them, telling them we are so proud of how far you have come. I think, they graduated, right? So some actually came out and they were like, would you trust them to be your doctor? And that actually started trending. They were asking, would you trust them to be your doctors? And that also, I am asking, why would somebody move attention from where you are being celebrated? Because they feel like anything that got to do with people that look like me, it's not okay. It is not authentic. I mean, there must really be something not right, And why would you, of all day, to ask a question like that? It's just seeing them celebrating that they've graduated and all that medical school, and you're asking if they would trust them to be their doctors. And some said, I cannot trust them. Some were like, what would I be talking with a Black doctor when I meet him or her? What are we gonna be talking? So all these weird statements, it's something that I do not understand. And I have also heard them say, if I get on the plane and see a Black pilot, I am coming down, because I am not sure if he is qualified to fly the plane. Right? And I keep asking, why are they scared of Black success? Why are they scared of Black power? Because I do not understand it. They do not want Black men to be rich. They also do not want Black women to be they do not want anybody at all to excel. And I have also heard them say something like this. That is from a coach, right? He said, Black people are not supposed to be coach and managers and coaches and all that. Why? Because they are not intellectually smart, or they do not have the intellectual capability to be managers or coach. That they are very good when it comes to physical labor. This is true. I mean, if you have been following my channel, you definitely will hear this. You definitely will know, I mean, like, that I brought this here. And if you remember the time I brought them here, you can also feel free to say in the comment section, all this I'm telling are truth. Now, this is to tell you how insecure some people are. I also remember why healthcare is also not free in America. Why? Okay. They actually said that we do not live long. This is what they said. That we do not live long. I'm trying to. And giving free healthcare means that we are going to use it. And they do not want us to use it. So they do not also want us to get free medical care. So we don't also live long. We don't have long lifespan or something like that. I have also brought that here too. If you remember, say in the comment section. Yeah. So all of these are the things that I see, and I keep asking myself, what is it that is carrying them? Because so far, I do not think Black people are looking for people that they want to pay back with. They don't want to pay them back with probably evil eye for eye or something. No. If there is something they've been working so hard on, it's just the system that has been oppressing them. Like Jen, right? I think Jen Elliott, right, said that we are cousins, but I think she is just the only one that feel this way about being cousins with Black people. Sincerely speaking, if we sit down and talk about this cousin thing, we definitely will understand that they do not feel the same way. She might just be the only person that feel that way. And I also do not want to probably bring negative uh, uh, discussions around her or all that. I know she has been for Black people, and that she went viral with her blue eye, this thing that she met sometime. But also there was also a video where she was teaching people that caught where she was using the N word. And somebody challenged her, and there, for those that know, so you also will know this is also truth because I brought it here. So, yeah, for being cousins, I really did not agree to that. And it's okay. You can feel free to, say whatever you want in the comment section. But personally, I do not buy into that because from what we've been seeing from the beginning of everything till this very moment, I do not think there is any link or cousinship and all that, moving around or in the bloodstream and all that. If we say that we all are humans, which is true, we all are human beings, we also bleed blood, right? That I believe. Or for the other one, I do not believe that. So it's okay, whatever you think. I am not trying to divide, but I am just being truthful about it. Thank you all so much for the support, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.